definition of success?
So you get this question asked a lot, or you every podcast kind of, or every interview talks about meaning of success, especially people who are supposedly successful. And when I myself was reflecting recently, I thought of breaking it down into the most fundamental sense of success, what is meaningful to myself. And what I noted down, success to me would be to be in the present and to deliver in the present. So what I mean by delivery in the present and delivering in the present is that what I commit and that is what I do, then I'm successful. No matter when you are, where you are, how you are, that's as simple a definition of success, I believe, that could be. Whether you're trying to get a villa or a mansion in Jebel Ali, or you're trying to get a penthouse in Abu Dhabi, as long as you're upholding your credibility, whatever you commit, you deliver, that's success. And that in first generation is always the obstacle. They've always done it wrong. We're doing it right. So that's the...
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of our Success in Dubai podcast. Our goal on this show is to bring to you the people and the experiences that are going to help you to achieve your goal while living in Dubai. Today's guest is none other than Kush Suneja. Kush, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Acha, for having me and setting this up. It's great to be on your podcast. I'm really looking forward to a great discussion and sharing a little bit with the world out there.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to say thank you for accepting the invitation to come to the show, because, I mean, it's a Sunday morning and you could have been anywhere in the world doing something very, very important than this. But, I mean, you actually sacrifice your time to come to the show. So I want to say thank you so much for coming.
No, not a big deal. Always looking to finding a reason, especially on the Sunday, to sacrifice the biggest things. So this podcast, you're the one who gave me a good reason to get out there, and it's a great opportunity for me as well. So
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I always begin the show because I believe each and every one of us, we have a different perspective when it comes to success. And I always begin the show because when I tell people like this is success in Dubai, and they're like, what are you talking about? But I believe everyone has their own perspective of success.
And you get a lot of feedback. Are you talking about Dubai bling? Are you talking about all the bling life? Is that what success looks like?
that could maybe that could be what success looks like for you, and that is exactly what I want to get into. Like, what is your own definition of success?
So, you get this question asked a lot, or you every podcast kind of, or every interview talks about meaning of success, especially people who are supposedly successful. And when I myself was reflecting recently, I thought of breaking it down into the most fundamental sense of success, what is meaningful to myself. And what I noted down, success to me would be to be in the present and to deliver in the present. So what I mean by delivery in the present and delivering in the present is that what I commit and that is what I do, then I'm successful. No matter when you are, where you are, how you are, that's as simple a definition of success, I believe, that could be. Whether you're trying to get a villa or a mansion in Jebel Ali, or you're trying to get a penthouse in Abu Dhabi, as long as you're upholding your credibility, whatever you commit, you deliver, that's success. And that can take you anywhere. It's timeless, basically.
That is incredible. Like, you commit to something, and if you finally do it, you consider yourself successful.
Yeah, and it could vary in time. It could be a big commitment, it could be a small commitment, but as long as you meet your commitment, that is success in itself. And even if you don't succeed, you learn how to next time meet your commitment. So
that is interesting.
That's the foundation of finance. That's why everything money related is, even relationship related, is built on the foundation of credibility. So
That is interesting. I'm always glad to hear the variety of definitions I get when it comes to success, especially. And I had a couple of people coming to the show, and I had one saying success for them is building a legacy or building something that lives beyond yourself, like something like a legacy.
Yeah.
And I had the other one saying success for them is seeing that their team is successful or happy, seeing that their family is happy, and seeing that his clients, because he owns a company in Dubai as well,
right.
is happy. And he said if these three parts or these three people in his life are happy, he consider himself successful. And getting this other definition of success from you today, I mean, I never really thought of that.
It's the other side of the same coin. So if you're delivering on your commitment, it means the other people are happy and you're happy. So it's two sides of the same coin. Basically.
I think it's kind of like matching.
Same but different. Yeah, you can say.
Yeah. Now I want us to talk a little bit about your entrepreneurship journey, because I know you're a hospitality lighting designer, and you're running your business in Dubai right now. So how did you start your journey?
In the beginning, I was probably confused as anyone else out there. Got into college, getting a college degree, and at the crossroads of life, pretty much like anyone. And then, rather than reflecting too much, I thought it's just time to act and jump into whatever was the next thing in front of me. And I, to be honest, am a second generation entrepreneur. I got it from my big man, my father, basically, who started something big. And thereon, I took the leap myself when I got into the same industry, learned a little bit about consulting, and also studied about the same industry before that. I went abroad to London for a year, studied lighting, and got back, got lucky for a breakthrough. And thereon, as I grew in the market over the last 10 years, little bit the market told me where the gaps, and I sometimes painfully, sometimes nicely. And thereon I decided it's time to get my hands dirty and get really, really deep. And of course, it's a nice way to serve the world as well. When there's a gap in the market, people are relieved that there are more people filling the gaps. And that's pretty much entrepreneurship is all about, helping people solve problems and serving people. Yeah.
So when you were growing up, did you always aspire to become like your dad, or did you always aspire to join the family business, or it's something that you just grew up and then you just decided, okay, let me join the business?
See, one thing about growing up in Dubai, you're really softened up with all the niceties and luxuries, and you're growing up in air conditioning, you're probably watching cartoons, American TV shows, and you're getting softened up all the time. And I used to see my dad hustling around all the time, and I used to think, no, that's someone I can never be, and that's probably not who I am. And and definitely someone I can never be, basically. So the first thing, to be honest, when I got done with my studies, I thought rather than join my dad right away, I thought I'll give it a little more time, delay the pain, and probably get into a job in a more structured business. And that's the route I opted for, because starting a business can get very messy, and there is a lot of serious hustle, especially from the previous generation, where you're really starting from scratch. And in a place like Dubai, where the culture is something of a Middle Eastern, South Asian culture, where people are looking for what they consider as big wins through pricing. You really have to look for other options, win that bid, win that tender. In the end, once I got into the grind, it teaches you that yes, you can fight it or you can join it. And I, in the end, decided to join the hustle, join the grind, and the grind eventually took me places.
So are you enjoying the grind, like since you started?
Yeah, like once you get your chiseling done, your sculpturing done, you get out of the softness, you reduce your fat, you cut out the fat basically. You start to see that there might actually be something to this. You can actually build momentum in your career. You can build connections. Like my journey while running the business, I was just discussing with my wife on the way that we've recently entered from lighting consulting, we've gone a little bit a notch ahead into BIM technologies, building information modeling. So I was talking about an opportunity here where we might want to invest more time into and build our future in a greater sense. So it does really soon, like you kind of build your vision and roadmap sometimes on the way as well. It doesn't have to be in the beginning, because I really had no vision in the beginning. I just wanted to get out there and do something great. The definition of great, you build it as along. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about information modeling. Like,
it's a technical part of my industry that's trending in. That's basically organizing our field in hospitality lighting, when in the traditional sense everything used to be done by hand and paper, and then it went on to when architects used to do their drafting. When they're building construction and real estate projects, they did it by hand, making drawings of the building, and then doing the same thing on the computer with an AutoCAD software, and doing it on computer aided design, which CAD stands for. Now the next step since the past 5-10 years has been this thing called building information modeling, where you're, rather than drawing something on paper or in a virtual space, you're building the whole project in a 3D space. And not just by the looks of it, by the function of it as well. So there's a lot of information involved in your 3D model. It could be lighting, it could be plumbing, it could be mechanical, like air conditioning, it could be structure. So there are about 10, 12 of us disciplines who come together in a virtual space. Kind of like how you're building SimCity, the game as growing up, or you're playing Counter-Strike, 12 people coming on the internet and playing with each other, where 12 teams coming together and building something in the cloud. So before we build something on the ground, that's one of the upcoming trends in my industry.
This is interesting. So this is something you're diving into right now.
Yeah, and since the last 2-3 years, and probably looking to next movement in our industry. Yeah.
This is fantastic, and I just want us to talk about something. Coming from getting into the business, like from the second generation, like what are some of the obstacles that you face? Like,
easy question. The first generation is always the obstacle. They've always done it wrong. We're doing it right. So that's the that's the simple answer. But I mean, yeah. Sometimes when you're entering an established business that's got its ways set in stone, kind of, you have to kind of shake the pot a little bit, stir the peas a little bit, and see what you can make out of it. But you being the newcomer, the most challenging part is you don't have the experience to back up your what you're stirring up. And the big man finds there might be a lot of risk in it, but you somehow have to validate your approach in carrying out the changes, whether it's the way you hire people, the way you execute projects, the way you conduct sales, the way you manage clients. Everyone in a different generation has a different approach, the way they've grown up, the way they've seen people successful around them. Those could be a few things. So sometimes you have to start scratch and branch out into your own business. to show other people how it's done. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I tried out myself.
I had a discussion with a friend the other time. He also like taking the business from the second generation as well. And he was telling me that one of the challenges he faced was him coming as a second generation, coming with the momentum and the enthusiasm. I mean, he thought he was literally coming in with some kind of new technology. He wanted to bring innovation into the business, but he forgot to realize that there were systems that were built already
Yeah.
in the business.
Of
And
course.
those systems are the ones that kept the business until the time that he was able to join. So he came in with that much enthusiasm and trying to change everything, but he realized that things were not working that way. So he had to calm down and recognize maybe the past employees in the company,
Yeah.
and then try to take them like his mentor actually,
The older staff,
like
right?
the other staffs in the company, try to learn more from them. And then from there, he started introducing like the little changes that he wanted to make step by step. So is that something that you also face, like joining the business from the second generation?
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying summarizes pretty much as there's an old saying: to change or to bend the rules, you have to first master the rules. So that's an old quote that holds up in any moment of time you're in. And yes, myself as well. For example, we had a employee compensation structure where each one's say commission although paid quarterly, was tied up to their current salary. And one little loophole I found in that, I read the book. I talk about this a lot of time. Poor Charlie's Almanac. I read that book, and that changed my business actually. So I learned about how incentives work. There's a little story in that book that talks about how FedEx, the logistics and courier business, had an issue about overnight operations where 2-3 planes come together and they have to exchange packages, and that's the heart of their operation. Every time there would be some mess up, they would try everything they could under the sun, moral persuasion, the carrot, the stick, but nothing would work. And then one day they had an idea that instead of paying the employees by the hour, you pay them for the work. That got me an idea that instead of us paying our commissions as a percentage of the salary, if someone's performing well, they get probably 1.5x of their monthly salary in the coming quarter. Instead of that, rather we can tie our commissions to our gross profits, for instance, for what they are delivering, what collections the company has, and then the staff can do their own calculations, whether they want to get a mortgage, buy a house, or even start a family. Then they can do their own personal financial modeling based on the profits they're generating for the company, and they'll be entitled to their certain percentage of that. So that really got our staff from a slow to move into real problem solvers and leaders. That little tweak in the way we manage our staff helped us. Just a little anecdote.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. So you just changed everything just by introducing that little idea.
Just a little tweak in the current system.
And it actually motivated the way the employees were working as well.
Definitely, people started to see that they have an actual stake in the way the sales are done, the collections are done. The company doesn't get paid unless we deliver our projects, and they are the ones managing the projects. So they have to find if there's an issue on the site, if there's some issue in the production, they have to be the ones hammering their head to be able to make those collections.
So it makes everyone to be really detail oriented while really pushing forward to
exactly. So rather than reporting to me that this is wrong, that is wrong.
Yeah, everyone takes responsibility.
They come with a solution, and they take responsibility. They take accountability, because they know at the end that if I'm the one solving problems, I'm the bottleneck. If they can solve them themselves, then there's no bottleneck at the end. So
that is really interesting. I really love that idea. And I also want to ask you one thing, like, how do you approach leadership? What is your approach of leadership? Maybe in your business?
Um, it's it's a big word. So leadership, I took many years to understand what this means. First of all, it could be some sort of a Superman who's leading other people who everyone looks up to. But I couldn't see myself to visioning myself as a Superman. So it's basically what I currently approach leadership as is empowering others, making sure they're growing, and also seeing what's next, how to live a year in the future, how to see where we will, what we'll work on in the next few months, coming months. So that's an important aspect too. Just from a perspective of, I'm a very financial person. I think things through financially. That's the baseline, as well as where the opportunities are. So having that vision is important to be a leader, to inspire others, to make others excited, and create other leaders. That's the most important part. In the end, you're trying to make others as capable as yourself, or even for further ahead. That's the most fulfilling thing you can do as a leader, as a business person, that you have a team. There's a Richard Branson quote that I can't remember the exact words, but it goes something like this, that work with people much better than yourself, that they can do your job, but treat them so well that they don't want to leave your company. That's a timeless saying by Richard Branson.
Yeah. That is one of my best quotes by Richard Branson as well. Yeah. And I really love that quote so much. So this is how you approach leadership, by empowering your team and coaching them.
Leadership and business, people are the most important quotient out there. Of course, there's technology, which is the other frontier. And that's probably another part to look more into. It's a very, especially today with AI, there's so much you can get done. Writing emails is a basic thing, but there's so much opportunity out there. Leadership can also mean technology in a lot of aspects. I'm not able to filter my thoughts here, but it can make your company an industry leader. For instance, if you're relying, like I mentioned, the BIM or the building information modeling, it can turn your own business into a leader rather than yourself.
Talking about like AI, and because there are a lot of people around me, they are kind of like uncertain about how the future looks like, because there's a lot of information out there saying AI is going to take away jobs. People are afraid. And people are thinking like, should everyone get into technology, or should everyone kind of start learning about AI or something like that? So like, uncertainty is the word I can use here. And I just want to, like, how do you approach uncertainty?
See, AI is something you should be actively engaging with. Of course, it's not something to be taken lightly. I feel there's so much change and rapid change happening every day. But another